I don't know why I'm frightened. I know my way around here. The chandeliers, the balconies, the sound here. Yes, a world to rediscover. But I'm not in any hurry, and I need a moment. The whispered conversations in overcrowded hallways. The atmosphere as thrilling here as always. We'll have early morning madness. We'll have magic in the making. Yes, everything's as if we never said goodbye. I've spent so many mornings just trying to resist you. I'm trembling now. You can't know how I've missed you. Missed the fairy tale adventure in this ever-spinning playground. We were young together. I'm coming in the doorway, my heart so filled with yearning. Not long until that chalice will be burning, and the early morning madness and the magic in the making. Yes, everything's as if we never said goodbye. I don't want to be alone. That's all in the past. This world's waited long enough. We've come home at last, and this time will be bigger and brighter than we knew it. So watch us fly. Yes, you and I can do it. Can I stop my hand from shaking? Has there ever been a moment with so much to live for? The whispered conversations in overcrowded hallways. So much to say, not just today, but always. We'll have early morning madness. We'll have magic in the making. Yes, everything's as if we never said goodbye. Yes, everything's as if we never said goodbye. new ways to dream.
Thank you, Anne. That was just perfect. Thank you. Well, good morning, everyone. And welcome to the First Universalist Church of Rochester, where we are called to nurture the spirit and to serve the community. Whoever you are welcome here this morning. Wherever you come from, you are welcome here. Whomever you love, you are welcome here in this space. All of you is welcome here. It is good to be together this morning. At the top of our service, as we do each Sunday, we acknowledge with respect the Seneca Nation, keepers of the Western Door and part of the Haudenosaunee people on whose ancestral lands First Universalist now stands. If you are here for the first time this morning, either online or in person, we especially welcome you. We have a visitors forum that can be found in the chat for our folks online and can be found in your order of service for folks in person. Please fill out the form so we can offer you a welcome beyond just this worship service this morning. At the top of our service, let us take a moment to turn to our neighbor this morning and to offer a greeting. I'll invite folks to please respect people's physical distance and to obtain consent, say that 3 times fast, obtain consent and ask before reaching out for a handshake or a hug. We encourage elbow bumps, foot bumps, placing a hand over one's heart while making eye contact, however you choose to greet one another. Let us greet one another this morning. Please rise and greet one another. Dear ones, as we re-enter into this new space for worshiping, whether you are worshiping here at First Universalist Church in the physical space or online, let us bless this sacred space with our voices and our words. Let us sing together hymn number 1, May Nothing Evil Cross This Door. I'll invite you to rise in body or in spirit as we join in singing hymn number 1, May Nothing Evil Cross This Door. May nothing evil cross this door, and may a fortune never pry about these windows. May the war and rain go by. My faith made strong, the rafters will withstand
with laughter drown the raucous shout, and though these sheltering walls are thin, may they be strong to keep hate out and hold love in.
We are here again. Lord, but it's good to see you all. It has been 609 days since our last service in this sanctuary. For 20 months, we have been reminding ourselves that the church is not the building, it's the people. Some of you here this morning may never have been in this space before. Many of you are still joining us online. And we are very, very glad to have you doing so. Some of you may never really have been all that fond of this space in the first place. What makes today really special is the fact that so many of the people of the church are finally able to see each other face to face. And yet, our spiritual forebears have blessed this sanctuary with over 100 years of worship and devotion. They came of age here, they married here, raised children here, were mourned at memorial services. This was their space, and this is our space, made holy by our shared intent to cultivate justice and compassion, to live in mindfulness and gratitude, to nurture the spirit and serve the community. Come, let us worship together. I neglected to talk to someone in advance, but Kitty Forbush, would you be willing to come forward and light the flaming chalice? Thank you. As Kitty lights the chalice here at First Universalist, and as many of you do the same in your own homes, will you join me in saying our chalice words in unison? May we be a people of welcome, here to grow in heart and mind and spirit, and may we reach out to serve our community. Please join me now in our affirmation of faith, followed by the doxology. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve humanity in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the source and meaning of life. Thus do we covenant with each other and with all. As most of you know, the work of this congregation is supported financially, primarily by pledges, paid on some regular schedule by members and friends. Pledges have continued unabated during the time of isolation, but we haven't been passing the basket. And with the pandemic not yet over, we won't be doing so this morning, but we can still share in the ritual of commitment. As you may be moved to do so, I invite you to come down front and leave your donation in the collection box by the door. As we celebrate the presence of long-missed friends and the warmth of their shining eyes, let us express our joy in generosity. If you are joining us online, please click on the link in the chat or feel free to send a check through the physical mail. The offering will now be given and gratefully received.
I awoke today and found the frost perched on the town. It hovered in a frozen sky, then it gobbled summer down. When the sun turns traitor cold and all the trees are shivering in a naked row, I get the urge for going, but I never seem to go. I get the urge for going when meadow grass is turning brown and summertime is falling down and winter's closing in. I had me a man in summertime. He had summer-colored skin, and not another girl in town my darling's heart could win. But when the leaves fell on the ground and bully winds came and pushed them face down in the snow, he got the urge for going, and I had to let him go. He got the urge for going when meadow grass was turning brown and summertime was falling down and winter was closing in. Now the warriors of winter, they give a cold, triumphant shout, and all that stays is dying, all that lives is getting out. See the geese in chevron flight, flapping and racing on before the snow. They got the urge for going, and they got the wings so they can go. They get the urge for going when meadow grass is turning brown and summertime is falling down, winter's closing in. Apply the fire with kindling now and pull the blankets up to my chin. I'll lock the vagrant winter out and I'll hold my wandering in. I'd like to call back summertime and have a stay for just another month or so. But she got the urge for going, so I guess she'll have to go. She got the urge for going when summertime was falling down and all her empires falling down. Winter was closing in, and I get the urge for going time is falling down and all our empires falling down.
Dear ones, we are here. We are here worshiping in a new way this Sunday. And it feels important to ground ourselves here in this building, here in the sacred spaces of our own homes, here in this web and network of mutuality. We are together. We are here. And our understanding of where here is has to expand. Like Michael said in our call to worship, we have been talking for 2 years now about how our church is not just about the building. And yet, we also have to honor this time and this important Sunday. Our sacred space over the course of the past year stretched out across Rochester and the greater Rochester area to Brazil, to Canada, to the West Coast of the United States, all over the United States, along with many of you on your travels to visit family or to go on vacation. You took us with you. You joined us from there. But we are here now, both here in this building and here in the sacred space of our homes, or even just wherever we find ourselves on a Sunday morning. And we must honor this shift. So I'm just going to invite you to place your feet firmly on the ground and to feel your connection to the earth, to this place. Feel your connection to the hardwoods, to the concrete, to the earth below. Recognize that for each and every one of us who are planting our feet firmly on the ground, we are connected. And if you would like, you can place a palm or two on the seat next to your body to connect yourself to this place and space with your palms, with your hands. The sanctuary some of us are returning to, this place some of us are arriving in for the first time. Let's connect to our palms to the pew you are sitting on or the seat you are occupying, and consider the sacred nature of this space to you. Let's pause and just consider the sacred nature of this space, whether it is here at First Universalist or in your own home, the space where you find church. In this space of memory and spiritual growth, in this house of listening and pondering and laughing and crying, in this church that is created through our very presence, in this community expansive enough to be both within and beyond these walls, nurturing our spirits and serving our community. May we dedicate ourselves again to this sacred space, to this sacred time, to this worshiping hour together. May we remember the ways we are nourished here and be grateful this morning. May we be easy with one another as we relearn being together again. May we find grace in the moments of holy missteps and unintended harm. May we find joy here and connection and nourishment. Let this space hold us again. Let us arrive to the sacred space each of us occupies in this moment. And let us be grounded here, finding our grounding here. Amen. Blessed be, and may it be so. Our space together is newly blessed and ever evolving. May we know that we are still First Universalist Church, that we have survived, that we are here again, forever changed by all that we have experienced in this pandemic, but here all the same. It is good to be together this morning. Dear ones, I want to invite you into this reverent time of sharing the joys and the sorrows of our gathered community. If you would like to, you can place a hand over your heart to be able to listen from this heart-centered space. As Michael drops stones into a bowl, I will read aloud the joys and the sorrows of our gathered community. All are invited to share your joys and sorrows in the chat as we join online, that we may hear from our community gathered here this morning. Dear ones, our first sorrow is from John Randall and our caring committee, a sorrow that Phyllis Bentley died this past week. Phyllis died peacefully in her sleep. No memorial service is planned as of yet, but we will of course keep everyone in the loop, holding love for all who knew and loved Phyllis Bentley. We are holding a joy this morning from Charlie Kortzel. Thanks to First Unitarian Congregation for being open to worship with us for the past few months. Thanks for lifting that up, Charlie. A joy from Richard Reed, who enjoyed a fantastic day yesterday in the sun and, oh gosh, went to Webster Park, I'm hoping I can read that, along Lake Road and parked his car and walked the pier. Awesome, Richard. And we have another joy this morning from Brian Moomey and Clinton Swingle. They are celebrating their 24th anniversary today. Woohoo! Congratulations. Dear ones, as we drop one final stone into the bowl to represent all of the joys and sorrows left unspoken in the silent sanctuaries of our hearts, may all be held in the heart of love. Today, as we have for this past year and a half, these past 600 and some days, we will light a white candle this morning to acknowledge that we are a community affected by the grief, the loss, the fear, and the hope of living through a pandemic. May this candle's flame hold our experiences around this pandemic, around this time. And may its light be a beacon of hope and a reminder that we have not been alone and that we are not alone. For our meditation this morning, we turn to words from the metta meditation, the loving kindness meditation in the Buddhist tradition. We will be singing throughout this meditation, shifting the focus, beginning with ourselves to those around us, and expanding our loving kindness to cover the whole world. I'll invite you this morning to just get comfortable in your seats, sit back, lie down if it feels more comfortable to you. What is important is that you feel held and supported and comfortable. How we take care of ourselves in a meditative or spiritual practice is so essential, how we take care of our bodies. So let us begin with focusing inward, with holding ourselves in our hearts and mind's eye. If you'd like to close your eyes with me, you can, or soften your gaze. Let's bring our attention here, inward towards ourselves. Just take a moment to check in. How are we feeling this morning? Is there any tension we're holding on to or experiencing in our bodies? Are there worries or concerns that are on your heart? I'll invite you to take a deep breath in and imagine you are breathing in a loving and kind force for good into your body. Let us breathe deeply together. And on the exhale, let's just let it all go. And get present here in this moment, grounded in our own bodies. And as we do so, let us prepare to sing to ourselves. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well.
May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be whole.
Let your mind now wander to someone that you care about. It could be a spouse, a partner, a child, a loved one, a friend, someone you hold affection for and whose well-being you desire. Hold their face and their name in your mind's eye. Hold them before yourself as we sing, may you be filled with loving kindness.
Filled with loving kindness, may you be well. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be whole.
I invite you to take a moment to draw your mind to someone you are holding in loving concern this morning. It could be someone in your life who is having a hard time, someone you know who is going through it, someone who is experiencing difficulty. I'll invite you to bring their name and their face into your heart and your mind's eye. Let yourself rest in their image and hold that deep care and concern you have for them in your heart as we sing to them.
May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful
We turn our hearts now to someone with whom we are in conflict, someone we are experiencing tension with, perhaps someone that we're angry with. I invite you to bring their face and their name into your mind's eye. Hold them there, recognizing that this is uncomfortable for most, if not all of us, but hold them there in your mind and your heart's eye as we sing. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be whole. We shift our attention now to those here in this room and in our virtual sacred worshiping space. We allow our hearts to expand from our homes all the way to First Universalist Church, and from our church all the way to the sacred spaces of people's homes who are joining us online. Let us sing together to our community. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be whole. And then we expand from here, from our homes and our church building out to our neighbors, to our greater Rochester community and beyond, to the whole state of New York, expanding our loving kindness even further to the farthest reaches of our country, beyond borders, to our whole world, to every living creature and being on this planet, to all of humanity. Out of the expansive loving kindness we are all now holding in our awareness, let us sing for the final time. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be whole. Let us pause now and share silence with one another.
Our reading this morning is from the writings of the Reverend David Cantor of Dallas, Texas. Arriving on these shores of hope, abandon your cynicism, your despair, your short view of humanity, and look you and see that we are not alone in our separateness. We are not forsaken or forlorn. We can be each other's dreams unrestrained by desperation. We can see beyond the horizon of setbacks and defeat and know that others have journeyed farther than we have. They have seen so much and not lost themselves to resignation. Arriving on these shores of hope, embrace the here and now. The blessings and the presence of the holy matters. Here now, we are together and we are stronger for it. Whether you are forlorn or uplifted, let us together enter worship as if it were a new matter, a new day, a new chance at life.
What a delight to get to hear our organ live this morning, huh? Yeah? Yes. Dear ones, to stand here with you all, both online and in person, is such a big deal. What a last couple of years it has been. I do not know about you, but for me, these last 2 years have really tested my sense of hope. I mean, these circumstances really put some of my sense of hope on trial. And I'll tell you openly and honestly, I am a dreamer. I am generally optimistic. In some of the mental health evaluations you have to go through in order to prepare for ministry, I test very high on the optimism and naivete scale. Most ministers do. I am someone who enjoys confidently looking to the future and planning. My sense of hope has so often been placed in what will come, in what we can build together, in what the future will bring. And it's hard to find that kind of hope when the next moment is completely unknown, when the very human connections we so deeply treasure became the possible source of infection from a pandemic that was steadily killing us and has now been somewhat slowed and shifted with the gift of this vaccine and the boosters to follow. It is hard sometimes to find hope in what we can build together when we cannot be in the same room with one another. And it is hard to dream about a world that will come or could come when the next day is certainly not guaranteed. And yet today, and throughout these last couple of years, I am learning about finding hope in the present moment. Hope right here, and right now. Hope found in the fact that we are able to be together. Hope found in small moments of palpable joy, even in the midst of really difficult and terrifying things, in the times we get to connect, in moments of just feeling content right here and right now. Being here together this morning helps me to feel hopeful. And I imagine, and I really hope it is helping many of you to feel hopeful in this very moment right now. What a gift to get to join in that together. Because I think that hope has brought us here to this present moment. The hope and dream of worshiping in a new way, of getting a new chance at life, as Reverend Dr. Daniel Cantor put it, of being together in this configuration. We are here. We explored this theme of arrival. If some of you have been steadily paying attention to your sermon blurbs and sermon titles, we explored this theme of arrival, of finding ourselves here during our water ingathering service in September, when I wrote the blurb for the service, when we thought we might be getting back into the building. And so out of the circumstances that followed, we are here again, exploring this theme of arrival. It does feel like we've gotten somewhere, hasn't it? Doesn't it, right now? It does feel like we've arrived at new shores of being together here in this new way. And yet, what we are finding is that there will be no complete arrival to some destination, where we go back to living life as if we have been unaffected by this pandemic. That shore will likely be one that it will be hard and maybe impossible to arrive to. If we have learned anything together, it is that change is constant, and change is likely going to remain a constant. We have hung in there through this experience. We have come to church, checked out of church, come back to church, come to church for the first time. We have opened our Zoom windows, we have clicked them shut. We have planned to reopen, postponed those plans, shifted the plan, and worshiped outdoors with our sibling congregation. As I said last week, we are a tenacious group of worshipers. And today, this is a milestone. Shifting to a multi-platform worship within our own building is a huge milestone. Being able to welcome children into this space in the future will also be a huge milestone. 1 year full of first times back to doing one thing or another will be full of milestones, likely highlights and lowlights. And what is most important is that we are committed to doing church together. We are choosing to gather. We are shifting so that we can gather safely and so that we can honor that this church can no longer be held by the four walls that surround us, and yet this church is here too. What is most important in the days ahead is how we are in relationship with one another and who we recognize we are becoming in this process. I want to bring us back to a poem or a prayer from Reverend Elizabeth Wynn that I read to you all during our first live streamed worship service that we had on Sunday, March 15th of 2020. To remind, just to bring you back to that time period, we had just hosted a beautiful music Sunday. It was gorgeous. Your staff, as well as a few worship leaders, helped us right here in this space to lead our virtual service, our first worship service with our community spread out, joining from our homes. We did it over Facebook rather than Zoom. So much felt fresh and terrifying and new that morning. And we still thought that this was a temporary thing that would be cleared up in a matter of a couple of months. Joke's on us, huh? We were coming together again at a serious milestone to explore what it means to be a church community when we cannot gather in the ways that we have always done it. And Reverend Elizabeth Wynn offered this reading to help us expand our definition of we. she writes. This is the part where we commandeer cruise ships for people migrating to feast at all-you-can-eat buffets and pool parties and party poolside, and then split the corporate profits with the staff, right? This is the part where we teach ourselves how to make our own medicine, the kind of herbs and grandma's recipes and vaccines and antivirals and insulins and EpiPens too, right? This is the part where we open our spare rooms to the college student whose school is closed, and the asylum seeker who just got out of detention, and our coworker who just got evicted, and the queer teen who needs a place to crash, right? This is the part where we feed lunch to the kid whose school is canceled and text the people who can't be in public spaces anymore, and we breathe, right? This is the part where we introduce ourselves to our neighbors we've been living next to for 10 years because tomorrow we might need each other, right? This is the part where we ask, what do I really need for surviving? And find a way to seek no more and no less, right? This is the part where we stay home, we cancel, we show up, we call, we fight, we let go, we stay, we don't let anyone go it alone, right? This is the part when we say we mean we elderly, we immunocompromised, we sick, we well, we in prison, we free, we who can buffer our way out with money and privilege, and we who definitely can't. Right? Right. Friends, our definition of we has had to expand. And our definition of who the we is at First Universalist Church will need to continue to expand and shift and evolve. It is not just the people who can physically come into the building who make up the church. It is not solely those of us who are joining online who make up the church. It is all of us. And we will be living into this promise of community for quite some time. We will be living into this, and we will have moments ripe with the tensions of growing pains. We will have times when our feelings get hurt, when we feel forgotten or not accounted for or even not valued. And in those moments, I hope that the bonds here and the connections forged in this community enable you to be vulnerable enough to speak up and to let someone know you are feeling hurt. I believe this community can rise to the task of continuing to live in this new way of gathering. We are going to be experimenting and learning a lot. And I have hope that our compassion here in this space can be big enough to be the glue that continues to hold this community together. Because for many of us, human community is the way we access the divine, and is even what we consider to be holy, the most holy. Human community and connection is how we hear and experience the holy. We have missed the ways we have gathered so much, and I have to think that part of this missing is missing the sacred connection. This opportunity to hear a word from someone else. A place to feel connected, seen, heard, valued, listened to. A place for informal conversation, for goodness sake. How we make community matters. How we remain connected between multiple platforms for worship and gathering, that will be our task in the weeks and months and years ahead. How we make community together matters. Because how we gather and how we connect deeply shapes who we are. We gather in an expression of deeply held values. We are here in relationship, and our relationships are an expression of the values that we hold and say a lot about who we are. Are we able to be vulnerable with others here? Are we able to connect across seeming differences? Are we willing to risk? Will we remain safe? Who is valued here and why? These are some of the deep questions whose answers and expressions come in the ways we interact with one another, and certainly are the questions that are on the minds and hearts of many of our leaders, and for all of us, on all of our minds and hearts. It is good to be together. I say that every Sunday, and I also say it every Wednesday for our midweek meditation group. This morning, it feels extra good to be together. It feels hopeful. It feels joyous. We are here. In the many ways we define here and recognizing that here is ever shifting and evolving, we are here for now, in this holy space, in this present moment, blessed by those around us, both virtually and in person. And I want us to just take a moment, just pause and stop and just look around you for a second. Just look around at who is here with you. For our folks online, you want to turn to gallery view and see who is here. We're here. This is First Universalist Church. This is who we are. These are the people we are with. These are the folks we have remained together with through these last 600 and some days. And these are the folks we will remain with in the future. We have arrived along the shores of hope, and our task ahead is to continue arriving. Let us keep hope alive together in this community. The hope of connection, the hope and possibility of a congregation, this congregation, here as a vessel and an expression of our most holy of the divine. In our tender and newly reforming community, may we embrace a wide expression of we, and may we be held in loving kindness. Amen. Blessed be, and may it be so. As we are coming back together this morning to celebrate our community, our final hymn just has to be hymn number 1064, Blue Boat Home. Am I right? Yeah. I mean, this is so important for us. So let us take a moment to rise in body or in spirit, to prepare our hearts and minds to sing Blue Boat Home, to sway and shift with the motions of the blue boat we are living on. Remembering this morning that we are being carried through this, let us sing hymn number 1064, Blue Boat Home.
Oh, below me I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean. Still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now. Never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Sun, my sail, and moon, my rudder, as I ply the starry sea, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship. blue boat home. I give thanks to the waves upholding me, hail the great winds urging me on, greet the infinite sea before me, sing the sky my sailor's song. I was born upon the fathoms, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home.
I'll invite folks to remain standing or seated wherever you are as we extinguish our chalice flame this morning. Let us read together the words printed in your order of service and on our screen. We extinguish this flame, but we keep its light in our hearts with its message of love and justice, taking it outside these walls to the world we live in until we are together again. Dear ones, as we close our service this morning, I'll invite you to place a hand over your heart, to just breathe in and out. Each Sunday for the past 609 days, we have said until we are together again. And we are here. We are here. We are here. May you find home here again, home here anew, and may we all rededicate ourselves to this community, to this space, and to the promise of what will come. May you know that you are loved. And may you go and be that love wherever this week and the days ahead take you. And let the people of the church say, amen.